Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of 18 Minutes with 180 Markets, where we are always trying to uncover hidden gems that you may or may not know about. Now, today we are going to talk copper, which is certainly one of the hottest, if not hottest, commodities in the world right now, and it's because of the very favorable supply-demand dynamics. But what if I was going to tell you that there is a company out there, not with one, but two potentially company-making projects with imminent activity? Would that pique your interest? Because it certainly has with us. And that's why I'm so glad to be joined today by Shane Pike, Managing Director of Great Western Exploration, because Great Western is exactly that company. And with that intro, Shane, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Hey, Shane, you've seen a number of projects in your lifetime. We've spoken before how these are two of the best prospects you've seen. Can you just tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, sure, Greg. Look, it's a little bit unusual to have two tier one targets in a junior exploration company's portfolio, and certainly one that with the market capitalization that we have. So our two targets, Fairburn. Fairburn is a Fairburn copper project. We're looking for a DeGrussa style copper gold targets there. And we're trying to emulate what Sandfire Resources did with the discovery of DeGrussa and what it did to its share price and market capitalization. And then following that, we're looking to test Oval and Oval South, which is probably one of the largest copper gold targets anyone will test, that's listed on the ASX this year, to be perfectly honest. Either one of these could be company makers in their own right, as you said, and we've got two of them, and we're going to be testing these in the next few months.
Great. Hey, Shane, Fairborn, can you just tell us a little bit more about the project? You said it's DeGrussa style. For those of us that are not quite as familiar, can you just describe it in a little bit more detail?
Yeah, of course. Look, Fairburn is remote. It's about 900 kilometres northeast from Perth, with very little exploration being completed there. We completed an airborne electromagnetic survey that identified a couple of targets, and we went and clarified that a bit more with a ground EM survey. And what we came up with was three targets that we're interpreting as DeGrussa style targets. Now, what DeGrussa style is, they're volcanic hosted massive sulfide targets. Big mouthful, but effectively what that is an old seafloor that had a volcanic vent on it that was venting out sulfides from what they call these chimney stacks, these black smokers that go onto the seafloor, settle there, most importantly, get preserved. So they get preserved as massive sulfides. And what we interpret up at Fairburn is that the geology that has been mapped there and the electromagnetic conductors there, we interpret this to be an old seafloor with massive sulfide at depth that we're going to go and drill test.
Right. And now, speaking of those drill testings, can you just tell us what's on store for the next, call it, 6 months there?
Yeah, look, we're going to be drill testing these in the next couple of weeks. We're going to commence that program. We've got three targets that we're going to test. These conductors that we're going to be drill testing is between 80 and 190 meters below surface. We're going to go diamond drill test each one of these three with the drill holes between 250 and 350 meters deep. And these deposits, Greg, are often found in clusters. These VHMS style targets. So we would love to find a DeGrussa, but finding three DeGrussas would be even better.
Right. So these three holes, how far apart are they?
They're between 1 and 1.5 kilometers apart in the same geological setting, in the same contact, which we think is the old sea floor. And we'll put a drill hole in each one of those. Now, look, if we get some color in the core, if we get sulfides in the core, we've got the capacity with the permitting that we will soon have to continue drilling from those. It would be a good problem to have, but we will continue drilling from those pads that we've got up there.
Right. That's great. And it's so exciting. Is this the type of experience? Is this the time for you to shine, so to speak, the excitement?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Greg, to be honest. It's a real privilege to be in this position where you've done the technical work, you've put all the coincident things together. There's proper science that we've put together, and now it's off to drill it. And when you can point to something and wear your heart on your sleeve, where you truly believe in it, and you think this is our time, it's a good spot to be in.
Right. Now, Shane, moving on to the second one, Oval and Oval South. Talk to us about that, please.
Yeah, look, Oval and Oval South, as I said earlier, this is probably one of the largest targets anyone will drill this year for any ASX listed company. What we're looking for here is a Winu style intrusive related copper gold target. And look, not a lot of people know Winu. Winu sits in Rio's stable of assets. It's enormous. It's 2.7 million tons of copper. It's 7.8 million ounces of gold, and it's open in all directions. It is a proper monster. And what we have
Beast.
at Oval and Oval South, it shares very similar geological and geophysical signatures to Winu, and that's why we're so excited about it. And we think we've got a potential monster to be discovered there.
Right. And the history of it, is this right that Rio and Sandfire were involved?
That's right. So Rio actually defined this target. They were looking for a Winu before they even discovered their own Winu in the Urita Basin. They picked that up as a airborne electromagnetic target. It was a conductor. They were really excited about it. It was their priority one target, and they went and drilled a hole into it down to 232 meters. Now, the piece here to understand is that they used a geophysical technique that it's outdated now, but if conductors get a bit deeper or in the geological units that you have at this location, it can't define in depth where that conductor was. So when they drilled this, they drilled down to 232 meters. They hit siltstones. There's some small units of shale mixed up amongst it. And because they didn't have access to the data, they felt like they had tested it and walked away. Now we picked this ground up some time ago after Rio drilled it, sat there dormant for a decade.
Right.
Great Western picked it up. One of the first things we did was a VTEM survey that can better define the conductors at depth in this location. But because of the size of the tenure and the work that needed to be conducted, Great Western entered into a joint venture agreement with Sandfire Resources that continued this work on. Now, they did some really good work. And one of the things that they did is they looked at the VTEM data that had been done there. They realized that the conductor that Rio had tested was actually 70 meters below the terminated drill hole.
Right.
They got really excited about it. They put the geology together. They designed some drill holes. They started the permitting process, but then DeGrussa went into care and maintenance. They were building their project in Botswana. They picked up Matsa in Spain. They're operating over 3 continents, and they withdrew from Australia completely. They gave this project back to us 100% after spending $4.5 million on it. And one of the good pieces of work that they did, and they did some great work there, is they completed a gravity survey. And this is a kicker. This is a work that they didn't have, that Rio Tinto didn't have. What Sandfire realised is that there's a gravity high that sits perfectly over this conductor. And why that's important is that the conductor is saying that the rocks there can be charged with electricity. The gravity is saying that they're highly dense. We're interpreting this as being massive sulfide mineralization.
Understood. And for you, I guess on the corporate level, I suppose this is where you're taking advantage of an opportunity in the sense of Sandfire being busy and at the same time taking advantage of modern technology over the last, call it 10, 15 years.
Yeah, that's right. And look, you could pick out a stack of examples where people have done really good work, big companies, small companies, and for whatever reason their focus changes, and we just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and we've continued that work on, we've continued that modelling, and we've put this together as a Winu style intrusive related copper gold target that we're going to go on drill test after Fairburn.
Yeah, and Shane, I also want to highlight another, I suppose, due diligence tick box that's in a positive direction, and that is just we're filming here now in early May. I believe the announcement came out yesterday. The WA government gave you a grant. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that? And also, if you don't mind just adding, what does that mean as far as the validation of the prospect?
Yeah, good, Greg. Yeah, that's right. We made that announcement yesterday under Western Australia's exploration incentive scheme. It's a fantastic scheme, and what that really looks to do is to incentivize companies to go and drill concepts that could have huge potential for the state of Western Australia. Now they gave this grant for the work that we've done. We pointed out the multiple coincident geological attributes at Oval and Oval South. Not only the gravity and the electromagnetic survey, but the geology is very similar. The buried intrusive very similar to Winu, both of those things, and it's on the crustal scale Ida fault. We put this into our application to the Western Australian government, and they love the concept. There's a very strong endorsement of the work that we've been doing, and they're contributing just over 100,000 to our cause. So very strong endorsement, glowing endorsement for the work that we're doing.
Right. And I think for us as investors, I think it's even more important than the dollars is the actual validation. But speaking of the dollars, can you just tell us a little bit about how it would change the program to maybe you can do some more work?
Yeah, of course. Look, we put the majority of funds go into exploration anyway. So anything that we can get that isn't drawing down our finances is always a given. But what that means for us really on the ground is that we'll be drilling 4 600-meter holes into Oval and Oval South, and that additional funds coming in from the government. One of the holes, for instance, has the concept there would be better if we drilled down to 800 meters, closer to this magnetic anomaly that we believe is a buried intrusive. Now, with these additional funds, that gives us the flexibility to extend this drill hole, and that's one of the ways an incentive like this can really help us out in the field.
Right. And sounds like the most economical way as far as by drilling one hole deeper as opposed to having to drill multiple more holes. It certainly sounds like you have a better economy of scale this way.
Oh, absolutely. What we're just to give you context of what we're actually targeting, this conductor is enormous. It's 3Ks by 3Ks, and we're drill testing it with a drill bit that's 80 millimeters. So we angle our holes. So anything that's deeper means that we get across this much further across it and better test it.
Right. And Shane, can we also just talk about the timing of it? When is this program going to begin?
Yeah, look, that's it's really dependent on what we get at Fairburn. A good problem to have is that we have some significant success there, and we continue drilling, and we'd look at where O would fit in timing it with that, but it will be after the Fairburn project, which look, once we get the results back from that, that program was probably over 6 weeks. So
Right, but to be clear, comfortably, it's still very much in 2024 calendar. We're filming in May right now.
oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Both projects will be tested over the next few months.
Right. Shane, super exciting. Before we go, I just want to talk about corporate governance for a moment, changing directions a little bit. You have seriously, and the team has put their money where their mouth is. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, our board, two of our board members, our non-executive directors, Ross and Gray, they're also our two largest shareholders, and effectively our non-execs, Gray, Ross, as well as Kevin, they don't get paid in any way. They don't get paid in shares. There's no bonuses. There's no cash component. There's no options. They have to participate in the market just like every other shareholder. And the benefit of that is that all of our funds are going to the right places into exploration, and they're looking for the share price upside, which is good for everyone. If we get a discovery, with using those funds, they get rewarded as well. I think it's there's probably only a handful on the ASX that can claim that they don't pay their non-execs in any way. So yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
Right. Hey, Shane, it's a super exciting time. As I said, you're in the right commodity, two huge prospects, and timing wise, so much action coming up in the rest of the calendar year, and really, frankly, in the next, call it 3 or 4 months even. Any closing comments for the audience?
Oh, look, we're just really excited as I think you can probably hear the passion in my voice about this, but these are the most exciting targets that I've had the pleasure of exploring for in my career. So I just can't wait to get into it, and the next few months are going to be incredibly interesting.
Right. Shane, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We can't wait to see all the results and all the action.
All right, thanks very much, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.